I'm really sorry about this lighting. I feel like it looks very, very weird, but I have to film this really late at night because we are running out of time. As you're probably well aware, the 3DS eShop will close very, very soon, and it will actually close on the 27th of March this year, 2023, which makes me really, really sad because it really feels like it's the definitive end of an era, and I'm just really sad Nintendo will no longer maintain the 3DS eShop. The 3DS is one of my absolute favorite consoles in the Nintendo line. I actually recently bought this Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer Special Edition because I still love this console so much. So I really wanted to make a video about some of my favorite and must-have games I would recommend getting before the 3DS eShop closes. So buckle up because I have quite a lot of favorite 3DS games to talk about. I'm gonna start with the games that I still have the case of, and then I'm also just gonna be talking about some games that I own digitally. Of course, first on my list, I could not leave her out. She has to be first. Animal Crossing New Leaf, my absolute favorite entry in the Animal Crossing franchise series. Animal Crossing New Leaf is my favorite game up to this date. I love it, and I'm actually currently replaying it on my 3DS because I love it that much. I feel like it's a classic 3DS game and really just cannot miss from your collection from my humble Animal Crossing fan perspective, especially with the Welcome Amiibo update got 10 times better with this free surprising update years after the game first released. And this is just a cozy, wholesome game. I'm sure you're familiar with Animal Crossing, but if you're not, in this one, you arrive at this town that you suddenly become the mayor of through mysterious circumstances, and so it's just up to you to live day by day and slowly like connect with the villagers, build relationships with them. You get to choose whatever you want to do with your town. I chose to make mine very beautiful and like start decorating as much as I could, start growing flowers, fish, catch bugs to make money. You can go to islands and play mini games, and yeah, just I love this game so, so much. And then with that, of course, I have Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which is now a DLC on the Nintendo Switch. And I kind of get why, because it's a really fun sort of like spin-off game. So this is one where you are a happy home designer, so you get to work. This was also really the reintroduction, I feel like, of amiibo cards. Like every copy that you bought at the time came with a little pack of amiibo cards. And if you scanned one in, you could decorate their house. The fun thing is that you could also slowly develop the village. So if you had done like certain jobs, you could start decorating a hospital, for example, or restaurant or stuff like that, and like slowly develop the whole town. So yeah, another really lovely game. Okay, next up we have some Pokemon games to talk about because of course I love Pokemon, and Pokemon on the 3DS was peak for me. So one of my favorites were definitely like Pokemon Pearl as well, but I just want to chat about these three right now that I think are definite must-haves as well. The first one is Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. This is the remake of the Sapphire game, and the other version is Pokemon Omega Ruby. I especially really like this game because of all the new features that were added to it, and I just felt like it was a truly like a good remake with lots of new stuff to do, and you can also dress up your Pikachu. Who doesn't want that? Next is actually one of my all-time favorite Pokemon games, Pokemon X and Y. I can't really explain, but I just had the best time with this. This might be like a very subjective personal opinion, but this was actually the game that got me back into Pokemon games when I was a teenager. I used to play it when I was a child and then just didn't really pick anything up for a while. And then when I was a teenager and got a 3DS and Pokemon, I got Pokemon Y, and I just loved it so much. I also really like the storyline for this one and the types of Pokemon that were in here. Oh my god, just looking at it now, I'm definitely gonna replay this. Such a great game, and I feel like it's a little bit underrated. I don't know. I feel like it's not many people's favorite. I loved it. And then another game that I really liked are like both of these, but Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then you also later had Ultra Sun and Moon. I did also get Ultra Sun and Moon, but I have to be honest, at the time I played it only for a little while, and at that point I didn't really see the value in it. So I would say that if I had to choose between the two right now, I would say get Sun and Moon, but I might be completely misinformed. I just have this notion in my mind, but that's like my own personal experience. So definitely let me know which one you would recommend, Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But yeah, I love these. I love the legendary 3D so much. They're so pretty. They're still like some of my favorites. Also, the storyline in this one, really impactful. Really enjoyed it so much. Really thought this was a very good game. How many times can I say really? I don't know. Another classic. If you are gonna get anything from the 3DS eShop before it closes, get Mario Kart 7. One of my favorite Mario Kart installments again has some of my favorite tracks in here. Actually, recently replayed it with my boyfriend, and it was so much fun to do that again and brought back so many nostalgic memories. But even if you have never played this one before and you're looking to start your 3DS collection or what 3DS games to pick up, Mario Kart 7, a great one. And it's really fun because you can just play like you can own the copy and then you can still play with a lot of other friends who don't own the copy, which is just really fun. Make sure you maintain that friendship and don't send too many blue shells after them. Last on my list, another classic, Zelda Ocarina of Time. The soundtrack, honestly, the soundtrack alone, stunning. Love it so much. Classic Legend of Zelda game. A little bit difficult, of course, with the puzzles and the combat, but that's also its charm. I would also recommend Majora's Mask, but just something about that mask, and I do also believe that that one features the scary moon that just, I don't know, almost feels like a horror game to me. No, I'm kidding. But I over the two of them, I do prefer Ocarina of Time, so that's why I would recommend this one most. And I just feel like it's such a classic experience and legendary game that you can't really miss from your library, you know? Alright, that's kind of it for my physical game collection that actually have cases. I still have some more games in here. This thing is so old by now that I've lost the cases of, unfortunately. But one I would highly recommend is Fantasy Life. And Fantasy Life is actually getting a sequel for the Nintendo Switch, which I'm really excited about. I'm very excited to see what they'll be doing with it. But the original Fantasy Life will just always have a special place in my heart. It's such a great game. It's so much fun. I can't even really explain it. You really just have to play it for yourself to really get the charm and why it's so fun. But it's basically like a cozy RPG is what I would say, and you can pick up these different lives, basically different roles, and you can also switch between them and level them up. So you have combat specific roles, like you have like a warrior and a mage and all that stuff, but you can also become a cook and just go cook a lot of dishes and level up in cooking. So it doesn't have like just combat, it has a little bit of everything. And yeah, I just love its soundtrack, art style as well, really amazing. Would say this might actually be like, after Animal Crossing and Pokemon, the next one that I would say is like a must-have. We have two more games to go on my list and then we're through it. So one of them is an RPG and I would really recommend Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm specifically saying Awakening purely because, again, of my own subjective, I just picked this one up at one time when it was on sale actually in the eShop, and it was my first experience with Fire Emblem, and I can picture the moment I started playing it and the feeling I got of being in awe, loving this game so much, really liking this tactical gameplay where you have like turn-based combat, and also I really like the feature of pairing characters together and having them build and foster relationships in order to improve also their behavior in like combat on the field, and all of the unique character designs and the stories behind them. I loved it. So I would just highly recommend this one. I'm not even sure if it's like the right one to start with, but it was for me. So I would say that you can definitely just start with this one if you wanted to go back to replay it or play it for the first time, even if you have already played newer Fire Emblem entries. Like, this one was just so good. Next that I would really recommend, and I'm actually gonna repurchase myself, is Story of Seasons Trio of Towns. I have played this one before, but I don't own it anymore. I lost it somewhere over the years. So this one I'm definitely really excited to play for myself again and just kind of like experience again. But it's the classic Story of Seasons like that was previously Harvest Moon. And this one is also really fun because you have this unique concept of these three towns that are very different. You have like this classic Western farming town, you have this more tropical town, and then you have one that's more like Asian slash East Asian inspired. That just really ties in with all of these unique characters and yeah, like the plot and which way it's gonna go. And of course, it's also a traditional farming sim as we know it, and the art style is just really good for this one too. So there we have it. Those are just some of my favorite games for the 3DS. There's so many amazing ones, but these are just the ones that I have owned and have played a lot and have just really loved over the years. I would personally really recommend, and also ones I just feel like are classics. Like if you're gonna build up a little bit of a 3DS library and if you want to see if you can get any of these digitally, I just feel like these are my must-haves personally, and yeah, my favorites. So of course this can be very different for you. So definitely let me know in the comments what games you would recommend, or what games have you picked up? Are you picking up right before the eShop closes? I think we would all love to know. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. And also if you want to follow any of my social media, everything is linked in my description box down below. And you can also join my Discord server. You're very free to do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.